Hello, everybody, and that means whoever watches this. I want to say welcome to Go My Lion Season 2. I cannot believe I'm actually continuing this particular show that I started. If you don't know what I'm talking about and you are watching on my YouTube page, you can go. I believe there's a playlist for the first season of it, and I want to say maybe 6 episodes or so, but there are a variety of different topics that I sort of covered. And there was an original intention for that season. This season, honestly, I'm starting it because I feel like it's time to start it, but I wouldn't say that I have everything lined up in terms of the exact direction. But I did want to use the time to give some updates, but through the lens and the perspective of this particular show. Go My Lion, what does that mean? For me, it's kind of meant let's go, like that cheering sort of phrasing, but like let's go courage. Like let's have courage. Let's try to live courageously. And that can look like many different things. But for me, I wanted to put a lens on some of the different ways that I'm trying to do that. And today, I wanted to focus on having the courage to try. For me, it has been many years of trial and error and prayer and meditation and listening and doing and sitting still in terms of figuring out what a creative career could look like for me, what a living is, and how to make a living or how to establish what that would look like. Specifically, and more recently, I think I've had to take steps in having the courage to try different things and to try different mediums, try different ideas that I have had, and be okay if they are not the fullness of what I originally had in mind. I tend to think of the biggest thing that it can be and see what it could potentially be even in the here and now, in the most immediate moment. But I've had to learn to choose when it's time for something to just be released and to put it out there, and when you should take a little bit more time to edit and put some resource into that particular thing becoming something that is more refined. So choosing between putting something out versus making it more refined and what's worth it, what's not. And that also depends on context and everything. But having the courage to start a podcast, DREAMiV, some of you are familiar with that. And that being something beyond a podcast for me, it's always been my intention for it to be more than just a weekly podcast, but something that is a lot broader and bigger and has the intention on helping us to see ourselves and learn to love ourselves essentially, but through the lens of many of the things that we're pursuing. And so that's something, as well as new music, which, if you know me personally, you know that has been a big part of my journey. I am trying to put things together right now. It has been, even just throughout this past year, a journey in learning to let my voice be what it is and not have to have it be perfect, because I have honestly stopped many projects, many songs, many things that could have been released or were steps away from being released that I felt like they weren't worth it. And especially with some people who have been investing in me, um, personally, financially, I felt like it needs to be perfect. It needs to be the best that it can be so that I can feel like it was worth their investment. But I've also come to find that that investment has been heartfelt, and it has been understanding, from people in terms of circumstances. And it hasn't been a need for me to be perfect, but rather for me to just be who I am, because that's part of where that investment has come from. The fact that they believe I have something to offer. And so I've had to have the courage to look within myself and also trust that I do have something to offer as well, which is why I'm excited that I do have a new album that is in the works, but planning to drop this summer, a full length album. I know there's a lot more songs, and it is a task. And sometimes when I think about it, it is daunting. But I'm super excited because I want to be able to put out something that is fully mine. In the past, I have dropped some songs that by the end of it, the mix wasn't exactly what I intended before. And when I say exactly, I'm not even speaking of perfection, but rather I went into a situation, had things one way, and then in collaboration, it turned out to be something different. Not bad, but definitely not sticking to what I felt like maybe I should have lifted my voice a little bit and said, no, I think this is the way to go. So I want to be able to drop a project that is reflective of those decisions, of the courage to stand on my perspective, my creativity, my voice, lyrically, production wise, vocals, everything. Perhaps even mix and master, which I know is a whole craft in and of itself. And yet, I'm up to the task. So we're gonna see what happens. But I am very excited about that. So in terms of having courage to try, these are the things that I am trying to do. I'm trying to actually take steps forward, give my effort, give the best of myself, and trust that what I have is actually worth it, and trust that there's an audience, whether it's here, somewhere else, whatever it might be, that may gravitate to it. Not everybody is going to be like, this is my jam, but it might be somebody's jam, and that's all right with me. So when I think about having courage, this is sort of what it looks like for me right now. Trying different things, trying to push past fear, trying to push past self judgment, and feeling shame, even feeling like I need to be this machine and be pumping out a whole lot of everything, that's in my brain. But I'm also human, and I'm allowed to grow, allowed to make mistakes, and allowed to pivot and course correct and evolve. So I want to be courageous in those things as well. If that resonates with you at all, let me know. But if you've watched this and you've watched it to the end, I totally appreciate it. I appreciate your time, and I appreciate you coming along the journey with me and not judging me, but helping me along the way. So truly, thank you so much. Cheers to Go My Line Season 2, and we will see what this becomes because you and me both are going to be surprised. That's it. Bye.